بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم من كان يريد العاجلة عجلنا له فيها ما نشاء لمن نريد ثم جعلنا له جهنم يصلاها مذموما مدحورا ومن أراد الآخرة وسعى لها سعيها وهو مؤمن فأولئك كان سعيهم مشكورا. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ألا إن رحى الإسلام دائرة فدوروا مع الكتاب حيث دار ألا وإن الكتاب والسلطان سيفترقان ألا فلا تفارقوا الكتاب ألا وإنه سيولى عليكم أمراء إن أطعتموهم أضلوكم وإن خالفتموهم قتلوكم قالوا ماذا نفعل يا رسول الله قال كونوا كآل عيسى حملوا على الأحشار ونشروا بالمناشير فوالذي نفس محمد بيده لميتة في سبيل الله خير من الحياة في معصية الخالق أو كما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. Respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters, and dear listeners in Islam, all praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is in control of everything. Control of the skies, and whatever is in the sky is in the control of Allah. Whatever is on the earth, in the depth of the earth, in the depth of the ocean, is in the full control of Allah. Every creation, from the arsh to the farsh, from Jibreel alayhi salam to a small little minute ant, is in the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's qadir and mutlaq. Allah can do as He wants, when He wants, how He wants, in the amount He wants, in the manner He wants, at the time He wants. And when Allah does not want to do something, when Allah does not give the hukam of something, when Allah does not decide something, it will never ever happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in control of the big creation and is in control of the small creation. Just like how Allah is in control of a wind that is coming out from a fan, in the same way Allah is in control of a huge hurricane that is taking place. Just like how Allah is in control of that few little droplets of water that's coming out of your cup, in the same way, full control is in the system of Allah. He's in control of the oceans. He's in control of all the waters, of all the rivers, of all the waterfalls that are taking place. Allah is in control of everything. Nothing comes out of the control of Allah. Never think that Allah is ghafil. La tahsabanna Allah ghafila. Don't think Allah is negligent of something. A human being becomes negligent. He's doing something and then he gets involved in another work. He becomes negligent. He's busy boiling the tea on the stove because he wants to make karak chai. 7 up. 7 times he needs to boil, going up, coming down, 7 times. In that someone came to the door. They knocked on the door. His attention moved away. The tea overboiled. The stove became messed. Because he lost his attention for a few minutes. Allah never loses attention of any of His creation. Never ever. From the large creations to the small creations, every creation's need, every creation's sustenance is in the control of Allah. When we say La ilaha illallah, it's actually a refreshing belief that's supposed to penetrate our heart, that we believe Allah can do anything and everything without the help of the entire creation. And the entire creation cannot do anything without the help of Allah. They are in need of Allah. Sickness is in the hand of Allah. Cure is in the hand of Allah. Victory is in the hands of Allah. Defeat is in the hands of Allah. Wealth is in the hands of Allah. And poverty also comes to whom Allah decides. Life is in the hands of Allah. Death is in the hands of Allah. The day comes into existence on the amr of Allah, and night comes into existence with the amr of Allah. Nothing happens on this earth besides with the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. From the east to the west, from the north to the south, from the sky to the earth, everything is under the hukam, the control, the amr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this belief needs to penetrate in the recesses of our heart, that we believe in Allah alone. The heart cannot have two loves. The heart cannot have two hopes. The heart cannot have two attachments. The heart cannot have two trusts. We have to only hope in Allah and break every hope from every creation. Only trust in Allah and break every trust from every creation. Only have our reliance on Allah and break every reliance from every creation. Because this entire creation is helpless, is useless, is hopeless, is harmless, it's effectless, it is dead, it cannot benefit and it cannot harm besides with the permission of Allah. When we say La ilaha, we negate every entity that is in front of us. Where we see it happening from, it is not happening. It is happening with the amr of Allah. Where we hear it happening, it is not happening. It is happening with the command of Allah. Where we think it happening, it is not happening. It is happening with the command of Allah. That is the objective of a da'i. The objective of an invited towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In every occasion, in every situation of our life, we have to be affected with Allah and don't be affected with any creation. Allah brought Anbiya alayhi salam to teach mankind this lesson, that we are not affected with the things around us. We have to speak so much of Allah, so much of the greatness of Allah, so much of the majesty of Allah, that every ghair of Allah, everything besides Allah, the effect of it, the greatness of it, the power that we think it has is removed from our heart. Like a person tells another man, there's a snake, small child is in the room, there's a snake, there's a scorpion, the fear comes in the heart. And then we say to that person, the snake is dead. The snake is dead, the fear disappears from the heart. Wallah, my respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters, just like how a dead snake cannot do, just like how the yaqeen we have in our heart, a dead snake cannot do, a dead scorpion cannot do, that yaqeen needs to be penetrated in our heart, that a living snake cannot do besides with the permission of Allah. A living scorpion cannot do anything besides with the permission of Allah. That yaqeen needs to be developed. That reality needs to come into the heart. And that's why we have to make nafi to the creation. The kalima starts off with saying, La ilaha illallah. We need to take out all the ghair of Allah. For years and years and years, there was an effort that was made that things are doing. And from every direction, from every school, from every institution, from every place that we know, the sound has come out that this is doing and that is doing. Governments are doing, and kingdoms are doing, and wealth is doing, and shops are doing, and jobs are doing, and degrees are doing, and gold is doing, and silver is doing, and materialism is doing, and agriculture is doing, to take all these things out of our heart. And we have to say only Allah is doing. Only Allah is doing. Who provides for us? Only Allah. No one can provide for another person. No shop provides. To say La to everything is the initial stage of Alif, Ba, Ta of this kalima. To learn that Allah is the doer. Allah is the sustainer. And to make nafi to everything, to negate everything in front of us, to negate is part of Iman. To say to ourselves, shops can't provide, they did not provide, they will never provide. Allah is the provider. Allah is the provider. Allah is the provider. No husband provides for their wife. No wife provides for the husband. No father provides for the son. No son provides for the father. No governments provide. No system provides. No shop provides. No job provides. No degrees provide. Allah is the only one provider. When we say He is Ar-Razzaq, Dhul Quwwatil Mateen, He is the only one provider. If a man has a doubt in this, that there is another provider besides Allah, his iman is not complete. His iman is deficient. Then his iman and the kafir's iman is exactly the same. That's why on the American dollar, what's written on the American dollar? In God we trust. That's why the American dollar, somehow these kuffar of this country, they have some trust in some God. That's why the American dollar will never crash. It will never crash. Listen to me carefully to what I'm saying. Because there's some slight little hope in a God compared to every other creation, every other nation. They have some little slight trust in a God. But if a kafir says in God we trust, and the Muslim also says in God we trust, then what is the difference? What is the difference? Allah speaks about this in the Quran to make our iman clarified and pure. Allah speaks about it in the Quran. وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُمْ مَنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهِ. Ask the kafir of Makkah, or ask the kafir of the 21st century, here in America, who created the sky? Who created the sky? Ask the kafir. He will say Allah. Ask the kafir in Makkah, who created the sky? He will say Allah. Ask the kafir who created the earth. He will say Allah. Ask the kafir who created the mountains. He will say Allah. Ask the kafir who created the oceans. He will say Allah. Ask the kafir who created all the jungles and the fruit. He will say Allah. Ask the kafir. So what is the difference between a kafir and a Muslim? What is the difference? And that's why we need to learn. The difference is negation of the creation. The difference is, the kafir says, in God we trust, but we need dollars. That's not true trust. In God we trust, but we need systems. In God we trust, but we need shops, we need jobs, we need degrees, we need universities, we need education, we need all the things around us. A true believer, he believes in Allah without anything. If the sky has to become copper, and the earth has to become lead, if the sky has to become copper, and the earth has to become lead, that not a single drop of water will come down from the sky, and not a blade of grass will grow from this earth. And then if a person will think in his mind and say, how will Allah provide for me? There's possibility he is a kafir. Because Allah can provide without the sky, and Allah can provide without the earth. Just like how Allah provided for all of us when we were in the womb of our mothers for 9 months. Allah provided for us. We came into existence, that which was a impure drop of fluid, and 9 months later was 100 billion times bigger and trillions of times heavier, that came out as a human being on this earth. Who provided for us for 9 months in the womb of our mother? Who provided for us? Was the mother providing? Was the father providing? Was the shop providing? Was the job providing? Or was it only Allah alone through His system put into place? On one side the spleen, on the other side the kidney in which the baby is there. Small little place, the baby is growing up and every part is perfect. If there is an error of just a small little percentage, of error, in that system in 3 layers of darkness, then instead of the eyes being on the face, the eye would have been under the foot. By mistake, you ever saw someone's eye under his foot? Billions of human beings came into existence. Look at the perfection of Allah. Look at the system of Allah. In no 2 human beings they have the same face. No 2 human beings have the same eyes. No 2 human beings have the same ears. No 2 human beings have the same nose. No 2 human beings have the same fingerprint. You burn the fingerprint, it still comes back the exact same fingerprint. They need billions and billions of human beings. And after trillions of human beings, there might be the possibility of the same fingerprint, but it will be probably in the next 100 or 500 years. The system of Allah, no 2 human beings have the same voice. You pick up the phone, you're speaking to someone on a call, they're in a foreign country, you know it's your grandmother. You know it's your mother. You know it's your uncle. You know it's your aunt. Thousands of miles away. Look at the perfection of Allah. Look at everything around us is calling us to Allah, is inviting us to Allah. Shaykh Salih Rahmatullah Alayhi said, the blade of grass that shoots out from the ground, the blade of grass that shoots out from the ground, that blade of grass is declaring the oneness of Allah. That look, O human being, the water that's coming down, tasteless, colorless, and it's falling onto this black dirt, and from this black dirt, one beautiful lush green leaf that is coming out from the earth. Understand the power of Allah. Understand the qudrat of Allah. قُلْ أَفَغَيْرَ اللَّهِ تَأْمُرُونِّي أَعْبُدْ أَيُّهَا الْجَاهِلُونَ أَيُّهَا الْجَاهِلُونَ. Quran 1400 years ago testifies that mankind understand. You think you have knowledge. If a person has knowledge and they went to the sky, they think they have knowledge and they went to the depth of the earth. They think they have knowledge and they went to the depth of the ocean. But you did not recognize Allah. You did not recognize Allah. Then actually you are ignorant. You are ignorant. Every sunrise is different. Every sunset is different. Look at the beautiful colors of the rainbow. Look at the snow-peaked mountains. Look at the beautiful colors in the butterfly. Look at what's happening around us in the taste of fruit. Who is making all of this? The water that is coming down, the vegetation coming into existence, the plantation coming into existence, the beautiful array of colors, the taste of fruit. The color of the outside of the fruit is different. The color of the inside of the fruit is different. In pockets upon pockets, in different sects, that Allah makes this fruit, that nourishes this human being, that is healthy for this human being. Look at the system of Allah. Ponder over the system of Allah. Think a little and understand, who is this great Allah? The power of Allah needs to be penetrated in our heart. And if Allah wanted, Allah made a perfect system that your sustenance will come to you at its time. Otherwise Allah will say to someone, Sulaiman, here's your entire life sustenance. How many chickens you're going to eat in your life? 2,000 chickens. We give you the 2,000 chickens now when you are a young baby. We give it to you. Bichara, 1,500 will be dead before he can eat them. Because he doesn't know how to look after chickens. Allah made a perfect system. Allah never gave us our risk and our sustenance. The day we were born, He gave us everything. He did not do that. Exactly when Allah person needs it, that's when Allah gives the sustenance. And Allah is taking care of every created entity. وَمَا مِن دَابَّةٍ فِي الْأَرْضِ إِلَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ رِزْقُهَا. Allah is taking care of every creation. To recognize Allah, my respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters, we only have one job on this earth, the recognition of Allah, and then we have the responsibility to make mankind recognize Allah. And when the Ummah understand their responsibility, when Dawat came, a Nabi came, Dawat came. When Dawat came, Deen came alive. This was the system of Allah. This is the Sunnat of Allah. This is the way of Allah. Allah speaks about His Sunnat in the Quran. وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَبْدِيلًا وَلَن تَجِدَ لِسُنَّةِ اللَّهِ تَحْوِيلًا. This is the way of Allah. This is the system of Allah, and the system of Allah will never change. What's the system of Allah? When a Nabi comes, Dawat comes. When Dawat comes into existence, Deen comes into existence. Nuh alayhi salam came. He made an effort on his people. For how long he worked on his people? 950 years. 950 years. He gave the Dawat. He spoke to the people. He went individually. He went collectively. The people were not willing to listen to him. إني دعوت قومي ليلا ونهارا فلم يزدهم دعائي إلا فرارا وإني كلما دعوتهم لتغفر لهم جعلوا أصابعهم في آذانهم واستغشوا ثيابهم وأصروا واستكبروا استكبارا ثم إني دعوتهم جهارا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of the Dawat of Nuh alayhi salam. He went to his people for 950 years. In day and night, he went to the people in every condition. They started saying amongst themselves, they don't want to listen to the Dawat of Nuh. They don't want to listen to the Dawat of Nuh alayhi salam. They put their fingers in their ears. Not to listen to a da'i. When Dawat comes, Haqq comes. When Dawat comes, Haqq comes. A Nabi did not come with a kingdom. A Nabi did not come with rulership. A Nabi did not come with a force. A Nabi did not come with a big group of people. He was one individual man, one individual person. And Allah speaks to us, this ummah, to show us what is the power of Dawat. What is the power of Dawat, of invitation towards Allah. Allah speaks to this ummah to make us realize the whole ummah is asking, and they're speaking, and they saying, where is the help of Allah? But where is the da'i? Where is the person inviting towards Allah? That is the requirement of the time. People have to give da'wah towards Allah and stand up like the Anbiya alayhimus salam, with no fear of creation, with the greatness of Allah penetrated in the recesses of the da'i's heart, understanding that he has been sent from Allah for the rectification and the da'wah of mankind. Nuh alayhi salam, people are putting their fingers in their ears. They don't want to listen to the da'wah. Imagine, I'm speaking to you, and everyone is looking out, someone is playing on their phone. How difficult it becomes for the speaker to speak. Imagine a Nuh alayhi salam giving da'wah. The people are putting their fingers in their ears, being disrespectful to the da'i. And then what happened? They did not want to see him. They covered themselves with their shorts. When they were putting their fingers in their ears, he started giving them da'wah with indication. Without speaking to them, telling them, Allah is one, worship Allah, Allah is one, worship Allah. So because they could not hear, they put in their fingers in their ears. So then he started giving them da'wah with indication. Then they started covering themselves with their shawls. They did not want to see the da'i. But when da'wat reaches a certain level, when the da'wat of a da'i reaches a certain level, it becomes accepted by Allah. Read Quran. Quran is the solution. Quran is the word of Allah. Quran is that word, has no change until the day of Qiyamah. To teach us where is the solution. The solution is we need da'i and people of da'wah to come into existence. Like the Anbiya alayhimus salam, when the Nabi stood up and he made one dua against his nation, then the power of the Creator affected the power of the creation, through which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought the destruction of that nation, to teach mankind what is the power of invitation. The power of invitation, the power of da'wat, is when the da'i calls unto Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then he just lifted his hands and he made one dua. لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديارا. Oh Allah, don't leave a single home of a kafir on the surface of this earth. A da'i, a true da'i, a true inviter to Allah. After 950 years, the people were not willing to accept the da'wah. He said, لا تذر على الأرض من الكافرين ديارا. Allah, don't leave a single house of a kafir on the surface of this earth. Allah said to Nuh alayhi salam, وَاسْنَعِ الْفُلْكِ, build a ship. Build a large ship, an ark. He started building the ship. They said to Nuh alayhi salam, you're building the ship here? Where the ship is going to flow? There's no water, this is a desert. They started mocking Nuh alayhi salam. They started mocking him. He was commanded by Allah to build a ship. The ocean was far away. The command was to build a ship. He built the entire ship. How many people accepted Islam? About 80 to 85 people accepted Islam. Small group of people. Only 80 people accepted Islam in 950 years. 950 years, 80 people accepted Islam. Just a few people every 100 years. Just a few people every 100 years accepted Islam, and the rest of the people went against Nuh alayhi salam. Even then, Allah's help is with the da'i. Allah's assistance is with the da'i. A person that helps the deen of Allah, وَلَيَنْصُرَنَّ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَنْصُرُهُ إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَقَوِيٌّ عَزِيزٌ. Lam ta'kid banun thaqila. For those that know, emphasis upon emphasis, emphasis upon emphasis. Allah's help will definitely come to those that help the deen of Allah. So Allah made it so. He built the ship. Allah told him, take all the 80 people, put them on the ship. What about the animals? What about the lions? What about the cheetahs, the zebras, the elephants? You don't see them in America. If you come to Africa to see them. Take you for some safari. Ask Brother Yusuf. Take you for some safari. And you can see what's happening. See the reality. Otherwise you live in a concrete jungle. And the reality is Allah told him, take one animal, one male and one female of every animal, and put them on the ship. One male and one female, put them on the ship. He said, oh Allah, the lions will eat the sheep. Allah said to Nuh alayhi salam, I am that being that put hatred amongst them. I will change it into love. They'll stay on the ship and the lions will not eat the sheep. So Allah put Nuh alayhi salam went on the ship. His own wife went against the Dawat. Allah destroyed the wife of Nuh alayhi salam. Anyone who went against Dawat, they were destroyed. Dawat was haqq. Dawat is the truth. Dawat is what we have to stand up for. Dawat is what we have to make our objective of our life. And his son, he was speaking to his son, the water started coming. Allah asked Nuh alayhi salam that we'll see when the time of the punishment comes. He said, what will be the sign? Allah said, you will see water coming out from your tannoor, from your oven. You'll see water coming out. Will be the first sign for the destruction of the nation of Nuh alayhi salam. The destruction of the nation. Water was starting to come out from his tannoor. Allah speaks about it in the Quran in the 27th juz. فَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ بِمَاءٍ مُنْهَمِرٍ. Allah says here in the Quran, the normal system of Allah is the clouds come. And through the medium of the clouds, the rain comes down. This is the normal system of Allah. Allah went against that system for the destruction of Nuh alayhi salam. Allah says, فَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ. We opened the doors of the sky. Direct punishment from Allah. فَفَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ السَّمَاءِ. Imam Bukhari rahimahullah stated, on a very dark black night, when you look up, there'll be a slight little white crack in the sky. This is the door which was opened in the time of Nuh alayhi salam for the destruction of the nation of Nuh alayhi salam. And there's an angel that is in control of the water. Allah told that angel, you move back. This is going to go out of your control. Move back a little. This is now direct punishment from Allah for the destruction. When the Nabi became Allah's, and he gave the dawah towards Allah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed the power of dawah for the destruction of the nations that came. Total nation was destroyed. Who was left? The water came from the sky, the water came from the ocean, from the earth, the water came from their homes, the water came from the mountains. From every direction water came for the destruction of Nuh alayhi salam. From every direction for the destruction of Nuh alayhi salam. While the ship was moving, his son was on the side. He started speaking to his son. He said, "Oh my son, accept this iman, accept this dawah. You will be with us and come on the ship." His son said, "I got a hiding spot on the top of the mountain." He said, "La asima al-yawma min amri Allahi illa man rahim." He said to his son, "Now the punishment of Allah started. No one can be saved. There's no hiding spot. When the punishment of Allah comes, no one is safe. The person that is going to affect him, it will affect them wherever they are. There's no one that's going to be safe." وَحَالَ بَيْنَهُمَا الْمَوْجِ فَكَانَ مِنَ الْمُغْرَقِينَ. Even the son of Nuh alayhi salam, whether he was the son of a Nabi, he went against the da'wat of the da'i. Allah destroyed him, and Allah mentioned him in the Quran, إِنَّهُ لَيْسَ مِنْ أَهْلِكَ إِنَّهُ عَمَلٌ غَيْرُ صَالِحٍ. He's not your son. If your son is in ma'asiyat and in kufr, he's not your son. He's not your son. He's doing an action against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's destined to the fire of Jahannam for eternity. And then it was who left on the earth? Only pious people, 80 people. The awliya, the pious, the most pious people. They seen with their eyes, with their naked eyes, they seen the punishment of Allah. They seen it with their eyes. Then what happened was, over the period of time, the ulama state, when one of them passed away, these were the Sahaba of Nuh alayhi salam. When one of them passed away, they would make a statue of him. Make a statue. And they would not put the statue in the front of the masjid here. They put it on the back of the masjid. The statue. Another person passed away, they made another statue. Third person passed away, they made another statue. Like this, there were 80 statues, because all of them passed away. And the Nabi also passed away. So there was no more dawat. And there were only abids, people worshipping Allah. Nobody was giving dawat. And as the time passed on, people said, "What do they worship in the place of worship, like the masjid?" They would come here. So maybe they worship these idols. They made the statues into idols. The statues turned into idols. Someone had a headache. They went to ask one idol. He said, "I got a headache. Please give me shifa." The next day the headache was gone, because headaches come and go. So he said, "This is the idol that gives cure." Then another person could not have children. He made dua to another idol. His wife got pregnant, they had a child. He said, "This is the idol that gives children." Another person had some problem. They asked that idol. They said, "This is the idol for this." There was no rain. They asked another idol. They said, "This is the idol that gives rain." Like this, they started making all of these statues into idols, and they became gods. When the next Nabi came on this earth, Allah speaks about this in the Quran. وَإِلَىٰ عَادٍ أَخَاهُمْ هُودًا. Hud alayhi salam was the next Nabi that came. A great Nabi. They were maybe in between few Anbiya, but the next great Nabi that came was Hud alayhi salam. When Hud alayhi salam came, Allah speaks about it in the Quran. When Hud alayhi salam came to the people of Ad, the entire nation was in idol worship. Entire nation in idol worship. Again the power of Dawat. When a Nabi came, Dawat came. He invited them, invited them, invited them. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made few people accept. After many years of invitation, He made dua against His nation to destroy His nation. Allah speaks about this also in the Quran, that Allah brought for the nation of Ad. They were long, powerful, tall people, strong. They could uproot a tree, a palm tree with their bare hands. Strong, powerful people. They would make a claim, "Man ashaddu minna quwwa." Who is more powerful than us? We are the most powerful nation on earth. The Qawm Aad. Allah subhanahu, when a da'i came, this is what the requirement of the time is. We need a da'i, like a Nabi that came. That those people that made those claims, Man ashaddu minna quwwa, who's more powerful than us? He gave them dawat, gave them dawat, gave them dawat. Not affected with the nation, affected with Allah, calling every person to Allah on a daily basis, giving dawat. Then he went, because dawat is haqq, dawat is the truth, and batil has no strength against haqq. And then he made dua to Allah for the destruction of his nation. Allah sent a wind. Allah speaks about this in the Quran. سبع ليال وثمانية أيام حسوما فترى القوم فيها سرعا كأنهم أعجاز نخل خاوية فهل ترى لهم من باقية? Allah asks a question. سبع ليال وثمانية أيام, 7 nights and 8 days. This fierce wind blew these most powerful, strong people and started lifting them off the ground. Powerful people, and lifting them off the ground and took them up towards the sky, that their screaming and their screeching sounds could be heard by the angels in the sky, and then made them collide with one another and dropped them back onto the ground with their hands and their legs cut off their body and their heads decapitated, broken and destroyed like date palm trees broken on the floor. Allah says, can you see any leftover results of this nation? Every one of them destroyed. Every one of them destroyed. Then Allah brought another nation, the Thamud, with Salih alayhi salam. Salih alayhi salam came to the Thamud. They said, he started giving them dawat. They said to him, these were people with great skill. They said the nation before was destroyed by wind. You know why they were destroyed? Because they did not have fortified houses. We use our intellect. Why that nation was destroyed? Why nations are destroyed? Because they said this nation did not have fortified housing. We'll build our houses in the mountains. So with their nails, Allah gave them the skill. With their hands, they could carve out their homes in the mountains. You can go even today. Go to Aqaba. You can go and see these places. The leftovers of these places in Jordan, in Sham, of where these people would live. Huge houses. The doorstep of the house is maybe on the first floor of your regular house. Huge rooms. Powerful people. Strong people. And they lived in this. They went against Salih alayhi salam. They said, we'll believe in you if you show us a miracle. Show us a miracle. Show us something astonishing. We'll believe in you. They said, what do you want to see? They said, we want to see a pregnant she-camel. Not just a she-camel. The pregnant she-camel should come out from a solid rock. He called all the people with the amr of Allah, with the command of Allah. And one morning he invited the entire nation of Salih alayhi salam, the Thamud, and they stood in front of the mountain. And he called from the mountain that the she-camel should come out. And a camel came out from the mountain. No mother, no father. You see, that's why we need to believe in the qudrat of Allah and move our mind away from all the things around us. Allah can do with means. Allah can do without means. Allah can do against means. Allah is not in need of any means. Allah is Allah. Allah can do things as He wants. He's qadir mutlaq. He can do what He wants. He's not bound to the system. This is a system that Allah has created. There's time, and we are bound in time. Allah is free from time. There's no past for Allah. There's no present for Allah. There's no future for Allah. 1,000 years ago, today, and 1,000 years from now is equal to Allah. It is equal to Allah. Allah is not bound in time. Allah is not bound on space. Allah is not bound on place. Allah is not bound on color. Allah is not bound on shape and form. These are created entities. Allah is لا يحويه مكان لا يشتمل عليه الزمان. Allah is free from all these things. These are created entities. Ashab-e-Kahf, 3 or 7 or 5 or 7 young boys, in the time they went in one cave. They went in one cave. Just say for instance they were 15 years old. 15 years old, they went in the cave. They came out 309 years later. They were not 324 years old. They were not 324 years old. They came out 309 years later. The boy that went in that was 15 years old, he came out 309 years later, 15-year-old. The boy that went in the cave when he was 15 years old, he came out of the cave 309 years later, and he was still 15 years of age. Time affected everything. Time affected every part outside the world, outside the cave, in every part on this earth. But time did not affect inside the cave. That boy came out, he was not 324 years old. He was still 15 years old. So when they saw a camel coming out from the mountain. Not just a camel, it was a red camel. And not just a red camel, it was a pregnant red camel. And not just a pregnant red camel, it was larger in size than all the camels. This was a mu'jiza, a miracle from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show mankind that Allah is with the Nabi, and Allah's help is with the Nabi, and Allah's help is with the da'i, with those with the power of invitation, is with the person that is giving the invitation, to give the dawat, to not be affected with the things around. And then the nation went against Salih alayhi salam. They killed the camel. And after they killed the camel, he made a dua against his nation. Allah sent one angel. They were living in fortified houses in the mountains. In the mountains. One angel came down. He made one screeching sound. Just one sound. So loud the sound was that it burst the insides of those people, and every one of them was dead. One sound from Allah. So my respected brothers and elders, Quran teaches us how many stories. And Quran does not speak about the salat of any Nabi in detail. Because this ummah is not a ummah of salat. This is not our objective. Salat is for us, we perform salat. But it's not our objective of our life. Our objective of our life is that we are da'i in Allah. Allah does not speak in detail with regards to the zakat of any Nabi in the Quran. Allah does not speak about the ibadat of any Nabi in the Quran. Allah speaks in detail with regards to the dawat of Anbiya alayhi salam in the Quran. How to give dawat. What is the usul of dawat. How we give dawat to a king. How Musa alayhi salam gave dawat to Fir'aun. How a person gives dawat to his son. How Ibrahim a.s. gave dawah to his father, how we give dawah to our wife, how we give dawah to our family. Every Nabi was a da'i, every Nabi gave dawah, every Nabi when dawah came, this is how deen came into existence. Every single one of us, we are in the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We have the responsibility of dawah, we have the job of dawah, we are actually da'i in Allah. This is our first job, this is our first responsibility. And when we stand up and we understand who we are, that we actually have the responsibility of dawah, then Allah's help will come at us. Inna lanansuru rusulana walladhina amanu fil hayati dunya wa yawma yaqumul ashhad. Like how Allah's help came with the Anbiya, Allah's help will come with this ummah. When we understand who we are and what we are and what is our responsibility, Rasulullah ﷺ called all his close family members on the Mount Safa. He called all his close family members on the Mount Safa. And then he told this group, call this other tribe, call these tribes, call these tribes. And then Rasulullah ﷺ had all his close family members and the tribes that are adjacent to his close family members around him. And he said to all of them, if I tell you behind this mountain, there's an army willing to attack us, will you believe us? They said, yes, we believe you. Rasulullah said, I got something that I want to tell you. If you say these words, this kalima, then you will become the rulers of the Arabs and the non-Arabs. You'll become the rulers of the Arabs and the non-Arabs. They said, don't tell us one kalima, tell us 10 kalimas. We want to become the rulers of the Arabs and the non-Arabs. Tell us 10 kalimas. We'll say all 10 of them, because we want to become the rulers of the Arabs and the non-Arabs. Rasulullah said, say La ilaha illallah. Say La ilaha illallah. They became angry with Rasulullah. They became angry with the Nabi of Allah. They said to his uncle Abu Lahab, he became angry. He said, are you again repeating your old story? Are you again repeating your own words? أَلِهَذَا جَمَعْتَنَا? Did you gather us here only for this reason, to tell us to say La ilaha illallah? تَبًّا لَكَ سَائِرَ الْيَوْمِ. May you be destroyed the entire day. He cursed the Nabi. He went against the Nabi. He went against the Da'i. He went against the person that invites towards Allah. Allah wanted to prove to mankind until the day of Qiyamah, when a man becomes Allah's, through the medium of Dawat, when he stands up for Dawat, when his day is Dawat, when his night is Dawat, never go against him. Never go against a Da'i. Immediately Jibreel alayhi salam came from the heavens with the ayat that will remain in the Quran until the day of Qiyamah. Tabbat yada abi lahabi wa tab. Tabbat yada abi lahabi wa tab. You cursing this Nabi because he's inviting you towards the haqq, and you cursing him and saying that he should be destroyed until the day completes. May you be destroyed and your hands be destroyed for eternity. For eternity. This is the work of a da'i. Each and every one of us, my respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters, the speciality of this ummah is that we have been given the work of Anbiya. Dawat, the previous prophets, they had to be selected by Allah. They had to be chosen by Allah to give dawat. This ummah, we are already selected by Allah. And not only the men, the women of this ummah have been selected by Allah to give dawat. Hazrat Khadija radiallahu anha was a da'iyah. Hazrat Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And like that, all the sahabiyat, the men and the women of this ummah, we have a responsibility. We have a job. We have the responsibility of the propagation and promulgation of this deen until the day of Qiyamah. The unfortunate part, my respected brothers, the unfortunate part is that we have forgotten who we are. The unfortunate part is that we forgot. And not only we forgot that we forgot. हम भूल गए और हम भूल गए कि हम भूल गए. We forgot. You tell a regular Muslim that you have to become a da'i. He doesn't even understand what you are saying. Whereas the first thing Rasulullah did when a man accepted Islam, he made him a da'i. The first thing a man accepted Islam, he made him a da'i. Thousands of stories go in the books of hadith. How did the deen reach us? How did deen reach India? How did deen reach Pakistan? Who said that the Jordanians are Arabs? Who said that the Egyptians are Arabs? They are not Arabs. The Sahaba went there, they made them Arabs. The Sahaba went to Algeria, they changed the language, they made them Arabs. They went to Tunisia, they changed them and made them Arabs. They went to Morocco. These are African countries, they were not Arabs. They went to Jordan, they went to Palestine, they went to Lebanon, they went to Syria. The Roman Empire was conquered in the time of Umar bin Khattab. 2.25 million square miles came under the rulership of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu ta'ala anhu. that man that held the khilaf of the Kaaba, he held the cloth of the Kaaba, and Umar radiallahu anhu used to say, my donkey can accept Islam, I will never accept Islam. He used to say, my donkey might accept Islam, but I will never accept Islam. Such an effort was made in Makkah, such an effort was made in Medina, that the reality of Iman penetrated their hearts. And Umar radiallahu anhu became the second Khalifa of Islam, and he ruled 2.25 million square miles. Thousands and thousands of masjids, thousands and thousands of miles of land came into the fold of Islam. Those people that could not herd sheep, they did not know how to look after animals, they did not know how to do simple things in the desert, Allah gave them the khilafat of this earth. Allah made them the khalifas of this earth. Allah threw this dunya to their feet. Allah made them the rulers of this world through this medium of deen. Dunya is also promised. Deen is also promised. When Sahaba, if they were sitting in Makkah and Medina, they would not have that amount of dunya. They would not have that amount of deen. When they strove in the path of Allah, the reality is to make this deen, my respected brothers, to understand who we are. Actually, hum bhul gaye. और हम भूल गए कि हम भूल गए. Nasyam mansiya. An old man, he went through amnesia because he met up in an accident, something happened. He forgot. He forgot who he is. The entire ummah forgot who they are. The ummah forgot who they are. The ummah, you ask a man, what work you do? What work you do? What work you do? Ask a person, what work you do? You say, I give sadaqah. You say, no, I'm talking about work. What work you do? You say, I read Quran. You say, no, I'm asking you what work you do. You say, I read Tahajjud Salah. You say, no, I'm asking you what work you do. What work you do? I'm asking you what work you do. So we don't understand it to be a work. You say, no, part-time. I stitch shoes. So you say, oh, you're a shoemaker. The lowest we are taking pride on. We are taking pride on the lowest. Wallah, this dunya has no value in the sight of Allah. Zero. This world has nothing in the sight of Allah, not equal to the wing of a mosquito. It has no value. To be a doctor is nothing. To be an engineer is nothing. To be any professional, it has no value in the sight of Allah. What has value in the sight of Allah is salat, and tahajjud, and Quran, and tilawat. This is what has value. Today the Muslim, the value of this is outside his heart. You enter the masjid, on the board of the masjid it is written, this masjid runs on your donations. The worst words that we can use. Allah runs every masjid. Allah's system, the entire kuffar system, all these billionaires and trillionaires that we idolize on outside, Allah is giving them because we making sajda. All the shops are running because of the man putting his head in sajda. All the businesses are running on this earth. If this لا تقوم الساعة حتى لا يقال في الأرض الله الله. If there's no one to take the name of Allah, Qiyamah will come. It's because we are taking the name of Allah. Allah is providing for the kuffar. Allah is providing for the system of this world. Allah is making the sun rise. We have to understand who we are. Today we have become inferior. We have lost our values. Our value and the value of the kuffar, Yahud and Nasara has become the same. That's why Allah is treating the sunnah of what they are. Sahaba were never affected. Rib'i bin Amir radiallahu ta'ala. Understand clearly what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. With the iman of your heart, we have become deteriorated. We have been kicked from pillar to post because we don't know our own value. Because we don't know our own value. We are valuable in the sight of Allah. We have to know where is our value. We have to know what is our value. We have to know what we have to stand for. A Sahabi, he comes, he's called by Rustam. Rustam was the highest king of the time, the Persian emperor. He's calling a Sahabi. You know how the Sahabi goes? With a small mule, with a broken sword, with a but a small little thing that he has with him. Small little things. They say, no, you cannot come. You can meet one of the people of the emperor, not Rustam. He said, then I don't want to meet him. Then I don't want to meet him. He said, no, come tomorrow, we'll let you meet Rustam. He comes the next day. He takes his donkey or mule that he's pulling with him, and they start laying out red carpets and golden brocaded pillows on the side, and they have ostrich feathers and everything. But of that time we will say opulence and beautification of the highest level. And Rib'i bin Amir, when he's walking in the court of Rustam, he's letting his donkey run over all those pillows. And he takes his sword and he puts his sword in the carpet, the red carpet, and he tears the carpet as he's walking. He's not tearing the carpet, and he's not letting the donkey run on the pillows. He's actually tearing their hearts. Because the people of dunya, their hearts are in dunya. They only know one thing, mulk and mal. Mulk and mal. And for iman, for deen, for haqq, we only know iman and amal. Iman and amal. And he comes in front of Rustam, the king of the time, and he takes his donkey and he ties his donkey by the pillar, by the leg of the king's throne. By the leg of the king's throne. And everyone's shocked. And he asks Rustam just one question. Why have you come to us? Why have you come? He was sent by Rasulullah. He said, why have you come? And Rib'i bin Amir, a Sahabi of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he says to him, and this is for all of us to know, he said, I have not come. I have not come. I have been sent by Allah. Inna Allah ibta'athana ilaykum. Allah has sent us. We have not come to this country. We are not here in this country. We came from, everyone is from foreign. From other lands that have come, or their ancestors have come from other lands. We have not come here. We have been sent by Allah. Each and every one of us have to change our intention. We have not come here. Allah has sent me here. لنخرج العباد من عبادة العباد إلى عبادة رب العباد ومن ضيق الدنيا إلى سعتها ومن جور الأديان إلى عدل الإسلام. Allah has sent us to take mankind out of the slavery of this world. People are in the slavery of this world. This entire system of this world and the slavery of this world, from 8 till late and late till 8, from 8 till late and late till 8, from morning till evening and evening till morning, running and chasing a dream, yet you're standing on the same spot in debt. People are living for years and years. You owe, and off to work you go. 30 years of your life gone. And this is the slavery system of this world. To take mankind out of the slavery system of this world and to put mankind into the servitude of Allah. This is our actual job. We have not come here. Take this understanding out of our mind. We're just here, we're just going to pass some time, make some dollars, and life will go by. We are not here, we have been chosen. We are a selected nation. We are chosen by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس. You are the best of ummahs. You are the best of ummahs. You have been taken out, chosen and selected for the hidayat of the entire mankind. We have been chosen. We are here for the hidayat of people. Our fikr in the morning is how mankind can be saved from the fire of Jahannam. How people can come into the fold of Islam. How my neighbor can become a Muslim. How my partners can become a Muslim. How the people I interact, they can be saved from the fire of Jahannam. A fikr is to be in our heart. A worry and a concern. We are not here just to pass time. We have a special responsibility. Being in the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu. A zimmidari has been placed on our shoulders. A person owns a factory. He's a multi-billionaire. He owns a factory. He manufactures shoes. He manufactures shoes. He got a multi-billion-dollar factory supplying shoes all over the world. What's his fikr? What's his worry? What's his day and night? Shoes. That's his worry. Shoes. Because his factory is shoes. He's a manufacturer of shoes. He flies anywhere in the world. Is to go see shoes where he can see shoes. This is his job. This is his objective. This is his concern. He goes to do his shopping, grocery shopping. His wife is pushing the cart. They're doing grocery shopping. He's not doing grocery shopping. He's seeing shoes. He's seeing the people walking in the shop. Oh, this shoes, winter snowing, this shoes they're wearing, summer, this shoes they're wearing. The kids are wearing this shoes, the girls are wearing this shoes, the babies in the stroller. The babies in the stroller, he's not looking at the face and what clothes they're wearing. He's a man of shoes. This is his job. This is his factory. He's looking at the shoes. 2-month-old baby, 4-month-old baby. He's seeing what shoes the baby is wearing. He goes to a wedding. Everybody is happy in the wedding. Everybody is meeting one another in the wedding. But his concern is shoes. His fikr is shoes. The overwhelming riding power that is inside a person of what he's giving his life for. Because here's a multi-billion-dollar factory of shoes. This is what he gave his life for. In the wedding, everybody is happy, meeting, greeting. He's looking at the shoes. What the children are wearing in weddings, what the boys are wearing, what the girls are wearing, what the ladies are wearing. His fikr is shoes. Wherever he goes, it's an overriding fikr from inside. This ummah has to have an overriding fikr for hidayat. For hidayat to come into existence. This person, he goes to a janazah. Everyone is crying. Somebody's mother passed away. Everyone is weeping, they're crying, they're giving out kitabs to read. He's only worried about shoes. He's looking at the shoes in the janazah. At the janazah, what the men are wearing, what the ladies are wearing. This is the overriding fikr. Wherever he is, it's the overriding fikr of a person. This needs to be changed, my respected brothers. The fikr has to be the fikr of Anbiya, the fikr of Janabi Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the fikr with which Rasulullah sallallahu came, that we are an ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu. I have been chosen and selected for the hidayat of the whole mankind. I cannot rest, I cannot sleep. There should be no taste in food until mankind is saved from the fire of Jahannam. Rasulullah sallallahu tied stones to his stomach. His body got hurt. His Mubarak tooth got injured. His 2 daughters got divorced. Every situation. His daughter was coming from Makkah to Medina, Zainab radiallahu ta'ala anha. One kafir hurt her animal. She fell off. She lost the baby. She was injured for 6 years. After 6 years, she died from the same wound. It was only one fikr. How mankind can get hidayat. How people can be saved from the fire of Jahannam. Khalid bin Walid made one move. He came from the flank in the battle of Uhud. He killed 70 Sahaba. 70 Sahaba. One day in Medina Munawwara. 70 Sahaba died through the movement of Khalid bin Walid. 6 years later, the fikr in the heart of Rasulullah was how Khalid can accept Islam. How Khalid can accept Islam. When Khalid radiallahu anhu was entering Medina Munawwara, imagine he's entering Medina. The doors of the houses are opening. The windows of the houses are opening. And the children are saying, "Oh Khalid, you killed my father. I can tolerate that. It's easy for me. But my wish is how I can see you come into the fold of Islam. My wish is how you can come into the fold of Islam." A woman is looking. She said, "You killed my husband. You were the cause of my husband." What a level of fikr of hidayat. What a level of Wahshi, who killed the uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Hamza radiallahu ta'ala anhu, dashing about in the battle of Uhud. In his imama, he had ostrich feathers. killing the people on the right and the left. And Wahshi only had one intention, to kill Hamza radiallahu ta'ala, to take the life of Hamza, that will get his freedom. Nothing else he wanted in the battle. He waited behind one rock, he took his spear, he waved the spear, he shook the spear in his hand. He saw Hamza radiallahu ta'ala. From a distance, he threw the spear. He was a perfect person in throwing spears. It hit Hamza radiallahu ta'ala in the front, came out from his back, pushed him onto the ground. It made him stuck into the ground. Hamza radiallahu anhu just woke up. All the blood started oozing out. He stood up also, and he looked in the direction of Wahshi, but he knew his soul was going. The life was coming out of him. He tried to walk. Wahshi looked at him. He fell to the ground, he passed away. The beloved uncle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, same age like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The day Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's mother gave birth to him, that was the same time Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, had a wife from where Hamza was born. Same age. They drank milk from the same nursing woman, Thuwayba. So they become Rida'i brothers also. Hamza radiallahu ta'ala and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam went to see his uncle Hamza, and he started crying. He started crying. He said, for everyone else there are people to cry, but who will cry for Hamza? Who will cry for Hamza? He cried so much that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam cried so much. Jibreel alayhi salam came from the sky and said, O Nabi, Allah has mentioned Hamza to Asadullahi wa Asadu Rasuli. Hamza is the lion of Allah and the lion of his messenger. Rasulullah performed janazah salat 70 times for Hamza radiallahu ta'ala. One janazah was brought, his body was in front, it was not moved. The next janazah was 70 times. He read janazah salat on his uncle. Such a pain, such a pain. Yet Rasulullah when Wahshi, he said, where is Wahshi? Wahshi should come into the fold of Islam. Wahshi should be saved from the fire of Jahannam. He wrote one ayat and he sent it to him. Wahshi said, I'm not happy. He wrote another ayat and sent it to him. He said, I'm not happy. He wrote the third ayat and he sent it to him. And then he said, I'm happy, and he came to accept Islam. Rasulullah made a fikr and a worry in his heart for the hidayat of entire mankind. That worry and concern, my respected brothers and elders, mothers and sisters, of who we are as a da'i. Actually, we have forgotten who we are. It's like a prince. Imagine the prince of Dubai, the prince of Saudi Arabia, the prince of Kuwait. Big shots, people of high status, but they forgot who they are. They're sweeping the street. They're sweeping the street. They forgot who they are. We forgot who we are and how Allah's help is with us, how Allah's assistance is with us, because we're involved in everything else besides what we're supposed to be doing. We are the ummati of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We have a job and a responsibility, and we have an amanat. We have an amanat. This deen is an amanat. We will be questioned with regards to this amanat. And there is khiyanat of the amanat when the amanat is not done correctly. This is an amanat. Allah gave us this amanat, and we have to fulfill this amanat. That's why we need to strive in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This word mujahada, we hear this word sacrifice. The ulama, we hear it in our markas. They give us an understanding of this word mujahada. It's made of 6 letters. Mujahada. 6 letters, sacrifice. Mim is our mal. Our wealth needs to be utilized in the path of Allah. Not on ourselves, not wasting wealth, not spending wealth in an unimaginable way, but the wealth, the mal, needs to be used in the correct direction. Mim, mujahada. Then we have jim. This jim is our jasad, our jism. This body that Allah has given us. This body has to be utilized in the correct direction, in the right way. This body has to be utilized. Deen will come existent when we use our life and we use our wealth. And then we have alif, mim, jim, and alif. Alif is for our awqat, our time. Our time is valuable. don't waste our time. Two things are very valuable, health and time. Health and our time. This time we have to utilize our time correctly, to sacrifice our wealth, our life and our time. And where we should sacrifice it? Mujahada. Then we have Ha. This Ha is to teach us hijrat. We have to leave our home. We have to leave our dear and near ones. We have to leave our jobs. We have to go in the path of Allah. Rasulullah left the Musalla in Medina Munawwara while he was the Imam. 27 times he left the Musalla. And in Medina Munawwara in 10 years, 150 Jamaats were made to go in the path of Allah. 150 Jamaats. They went out to give Dawat. 150 Jamaats. That's how Deen came alive. It wasn't just sitting and listening to talks and just reading books and listening to some things. No, it was a sacrifice. We have to leave to go in the path of Allah. And then Allah's help will come. And then Deen will come alive. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give people hidayah. Some sacrifices to take place. Hijrat is to leave our homes, leave our families, leave our children, leave our businesses for a period of time. And then we come back, go for 4 months, go for 40 days, go for 10 days, go for 3 days, go for any amount of time in the path of Allah. The whole world is waiting. Allah has blessed these people of this country with such passports you can travel to the whole world. Most of the world is no visa requirement. Go to South America, see what is happening. Children, people that are from the progeny of Sahaba, they have become kafirs. People from the progeny of Sahaba, Khalid bin Walid's progeny, Umar bin Khattab's progeny, today the name is John. The names are Ghair Musalman. They have become kafir. Why? Because the environment is affecting them. And who's there to call them? Who's there to make an effort? Who's there to change the environment? If everybody just sits and they think, no, it's me, myself and I, and the story is over, and no one is ready, that's why we have to make hijrat. And when hijrat will take place, mujahada, the dal, deen will come into existence. Deen will come. And this dal also has another 2 secrets. How this deen will come into existence? What dawat, the other dal, and dua. 2 things are important. We have to give dawat in the day and dua at night. Dawat in the day and dua at night. Thakane wale dawat or rolane wale dua. Thakane wale dawat. Such a dawat, a person becomes tired. Inna laka fin nahari sabhan tawila. In the day, going person to person, individual to individual, house to house, door to door, alley to alley, gully to gully, street to street, town to town, state to state, city to city, continent to continent, to go to every hook, nook and corner of the world, to go to every single human being without the desire of a single blue being, to go to every person with a dawat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our actual job. This is why we were created. This is why Allah gave us existence. And then we get the last ha. What will come into existence? Hidayat will come into existence. Guidance will come. We will be guided. The people we go to will be guided. And this is the requirement of the time. So for this, my respected brothers, this is not a talk. This is a tashkeel we need to make. This tashkeel is who is ready to go in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, talks are just talks. They go over our head and the story is over. But to do a work, we have a work. This work of dawat and tabligh that needs to come into existence. It needs to be established in every masjid. It needs to be part of our bloodstream, especially our younger generation here. Otherwise we get lost. Few years they stay in the madrasa. After that the environment is too powerful. You see, either you are da'i or you are mad'u. Either you are giving dawat or people are giving you dawat. There's only 2 things. You giving dawat or people. They say the statistics show today, every single human being in 24 hours of his day, he gets 40,000 times invitation. Every single human being in 24 hours of his day, 40,000 invitations per day. The Coke can, the car, the BMW, the Mercedes-Benz, someone's watch, someone's iPhone, some YouTube thing, some this. Every day these things are giving us dawat. What we're hearing is giving us dawat. What we're seeing is giving us dawat. Every day, these things giving us dawat. They're inviting us. They're affecting our mind. They're affecting our brain. They're affecting our heart. And they're making us go in. If we don't give the dawat, then we have to give the dawat in the life of Anbiya and Sahaba. There's no one else we look at. We look at Anbiya, they gave their life. Allah was happy with them. We look at Sahaba, Allah was happy with every Sahabi. Radiyallahu anhum wa radu an. Allah was happy with them. They were happy with Allah. وَكُلَّوْ وَعْدَ اللَّهُ الْحُسْنَى. Allah says every Sahabi, we promised him Jannah. Every Sahabi was promised Jannah. So for this, who can make intention, inshallah? We need a Jamaat from here in the summer vacation for 40 days minimum, to go for 40 days in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The school will be closing on the 15th of June. 16th, 17th will be Eid. Second Eid. Slaughtered inshallah. Eid al-Adha. Maybe 17, 18, 19. Say 20th we make a Jamaat to go out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At least for 40 days. And after you complete as ulama, you go 1 year in the path of Allah. 1 year. I graduated 2004 in South Africa, in Darul Uloom Azad, the same place Mufti Aswad Sahib studied. After I graduated, we went for 1 year in the path of Allah. We went on September before Ramadan, we came back the next year, September. In that I was also married. My wife was also pregnant, she gave birth also. We came back the next year. Right? Everything goes on in the world. You can't do anything. You're there yourself. Somebody say, no, why are you not there? Why are you there? You can't do anything. If the baby is going to come, the baby, this is going to happen, then the world is going to go on. If you do Allah's deen, Allah will help us. So who's ready, inshallah, to stand up? To stand up and to make the intention, they're ready to go for 40 days in the path of Allah. 40 days, Bismillah. Who's ready to stand up, inshallah? Bismillah. 40 days in the path of Allah. Sulaiman, inshallah. Allah accept, inshallah. 40 days. Who else, inshallah? 40 days in the path of Allah. Yahya, inshallah. Ahmad, inshallah. Azam, inshallah. Azim, inshallah. And Suhaib, inshallah. Musa, Mudathir. Allah accept, inshallah. Rahman, Allah accept, inshallah. Abdul Malik, inshallah. Allah accept. Umar, inshallah. Who else? We need a Jamaat. We need people to stand up. We don't need many, we only need 313. Like Badr. Then we see 1,000 angels, and 3,000 angels, and 5,000 angels. MashaAllah. Imran, inshallah. Allah accept, inshallah. Who else? Then we'll see Allah's help. You see, Allah's help won't come if we just sit and we go on with our life. If we want Allah's help to come, we have to do a little more. We have to strive in the path of Allah. Move in the path of Allah. Diamonds cut diamonds. See these young children go to one area. Those areas stand up. Someone's life changes. Some youth, they're going in the wrong direction. How many of them? Mothers are crying blood. Saturday night, there's nothing to do. The sun comes 2 o'clock in the morning. The mother can't say anything. The father can't say anything. They hear the front door open. The son is going to some nightclub, he's doing this, he's doing whatever. Nobody can do anything. These countries are made like this. And then the father and mother is sleeping in the bedroom upstairs. The father says, you is your son. The mother says, no, it's your son. And nobody knows whose son it is. But it's both their son. And they just have to be quiet. Because if we don't make the tree go in the right direction, and we don't teach them the right thing, just 1 minute, 1 second the wrong thing happens, then those parents cry blood. I went to one person's house years ago. Yeah? You know where I was from. So anyways, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, he called me, say, my son has gone off his head, what must I do? I go to the room, he's taking apples and he's blasting it on the wall. Things are happening. Issues are taking place. People are in problems. Every house, if there's no deen, it will be Jahannam. Jahannam in dunya. No deen, Jahannam in dunya. If we teach them the right thing, this is when we have the benefit of dunya. Everything of the best. A child that is obedient to the parents. Otherwise, what is happening? This deen is to teach us who we are and what we are. A man becomes an example for others. Put them in the front. Give them the responsibility. You see people's lives change. People coming on the straight path. One person who is far away comes to the masjid, becomes a 5-time musalli. This is the greatest thing that can happen. To take from the unlimited treasuries of Allah. To learn this, my respected brothers. Allah gave us this path. Who else is ready? 40 days in the path of Allah. 40 days inshallah. 40 days. We need Jamaats to go out. We need to go out in the path of Allah. Otherwise bayans will become bayans. Talks will become talks. They go in one ear and they come out the other ear. Gee, who else is ready inshallah? And what does the other responsibility we have? Every house has to do ta'aleem. Ta'aleem in every house. You see there is fitan outside. There is trials and tribulations outside. To protect our home from the tribulations of outside, we need to read Qala Allah, Qala Rasul every day in our house. Every day. Read to our children. Read to our families. They're going for 8 hours to public school. And they're teaching them about Adam. When we were young, we knew there was Adam and Eve. They're talking about Adam and Steve. They're teaching them this. In the schools, we're sending them to the places of batil. And we want them to become perfect children. We're sending them in the rain. And we want their shoes to come back in the home dry. It's impossible. It's two opposites. We need ta'aleem every day in the home. Ta'aleem every day in the home. This will protect our children, make their iman, make them strong. Every day there should be time. No day. Every day make a time. Take a time. 8 o'clock to 8:30. 9 o'clock to 9:30. 9:15. You're going to read Qala Allah, Qala Rasul. Read a story of a Sahabi. Read a story. Not Harry Potter, this one, that one. People that are fake heroes. Some green guy that's so big. Don't even exist. Sahaba were real people. Real people that lived on this earth. Powerful, real people that took from Allah. Human beings that were on this earth, that Allah became happy with them. Read ta'aleem every day in our homes. It will bring noor in our house. It will bring barakah in our house. It will bring blessings in our house. The angels will come in our house. We'll see muhabbat in our house. We'll see the children become the coolness of our eyes. May Allah give us the tawfiq of understanding. Two things. Strive in the path of Allah. Even for the ladies, we make masturat jamaats. They go with their husbands, go with their sons, go with their brothers, go with their fathers in the path of Allah. Just 3 days. And make an environment. Go to someone's house, they open their homes in masturat jamaat. I've been last year, I went to Ireland, Dublin. And we went to so many cities in Dublin. Cork and all the Skilani, all these beautiful areas. You get nice butter from there. You know the butter we eat? Beautiful butter, Kerry Gold. Nice butter. Beautiful farms and areas. But what need of deen? Same like America, people, foreigners from all over. People are so far away. So far away. A few years ago I went Mastura Jamaat with my wife. The ladies know. Went with my wife in the path of Allah. We went to Germany, Switzerland, Italy, went to Denmark, went to Sweden. So many places. You go in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We were going shopping one place. One husband and wife. He was speaking Arabic. She was German. And then we were saying that our Mastura Jamaat is by this house. She came and she stayed with the Jamaat for 3 days in the house. It was an Arab brother's house. She stayed for 3 days. After 3 days, our ladies came down. We were going to another house. So all the ladies went, they jumped in the cars. There was one lady, she was there. So I asked my wife, who's that? They said, this is this German lady. She's a revert. She's married to this Moroccan brother. In full niqab. Head to toe she was coming. I told her, brother, it's your wife. He said, it's not my wife. I said, it's your wife. He said, no, my wife don't dress like this. My wife is German, so she doesn't dress like this. I said, it's your wife. Our ladies just gave her niqab and burqa and everything. She changed her whole life. She went mastura, she went 40 days. Her children are becoming kuffar today. Allah changes people's lives. 3 days in the path of Allah. A life changer. A life changer. One Jamaat from South Africa, they went to LA, Los Angeles. They stayed by one brother's house. Brother Yunus Patel's house. They stayed by his house. Just 3 days the Jamaat stayed by his house. He was so affected with the Jamaat. The Jamaat was from Azadwal, where the Darul is in South Africa. He changed his life. He made all his sons and all his daughters ulama in South Africa. Just 3 days, that Jamaat went back. They probably going to their regular work. All the sons, all the daughters of that person are all ulama. Imam in this masjid, in this madrasa, the ladies are teaching here. How many people are benefiting? How many became imams of masjid? How many huffaz came? All the reward is to that one Jamaat. One Jamaat made an effort. Allah brought so much khair into existence. One Jamaat, they were on the train station in India. In the train station. So they took out the kitab, they were waiting for the train, they took out the kitab, they said, let's read some ta'aleem. So they were reading ta'aleem. There was a person who was standing on the side. He said, let me listen to what they're reading. So when he listened to what they're reading, they were reading, whoever makes their son a hafid, that person will wear a crown that will be more brilliant than the sun. He was listening to it. So that brother was there, he was cooking on the side. There was like a small little restaurant in the train station. So he was listening to the Jamaat. So he made the intention, I want to make my son a hafid. The train came. The Jamaat jumped on the train, they went away. He did not even meet them. He never made salam on them, nothing. He made intention, my son should become a hafid. Few years later, many years later anyways, the Jamaat went to Canada. So they met this brother in the masjid, he was the imam of the masjid. He told them, you're from South Africa? They said, yes. He said, I want to tell you one karguzar. You know, my father used to work on a train station in India. A South African Jamaat, they were standing there and they were reading some ta'aleem. This is years ago. And they read one hadith about the virtue of making their son a hafid. My father made me a hafid. From there I became a alim. I came to Canada, I'm the imam of this masjid because of my father hearing one hadith from the South African Jamaat. Just one hadith. How much khair, how much good, how much can come out, and how many people's lives can change. Allah gave us a beautiful way to make this effort of Dawat and Tabligh our work, and to make effort in our areas. One is our Muslims that are here, but how many non-Muslims? Our belief is, if a non-Muslim dies today, is our neighbor. If he dies today, he will go to the fire of Jahannam forever and ever and ever. At least, my beloved brothers, mothers and sisters, at least make dua for them. We know our neighbor for how many years. We know this business acquaintance for how many years. We know this person, he sits in my office. In this world is nothing. In this world is a short time. But if he goes to Jahannam forever and ever, and this is our belief as Muslims, he will never come out of Jahannam. He will call Malik, the doorkeeper of Jahannam, Ya Malik, Ya Malik, Ya Malik, liyaqdi alayna rabbuk. After 1,000 years, Malik will answer him. In Jahannam it will be boiling and burning. They say, Malik, make dua, tell Allah to kill me. Tell Allah to kill me, give me death. I cannot take the heat of Jahannam anymore. So my respected brothers, to make a fikr and a worry, if we cannot give them dawah, let us make dua. But we are here sent for the Muslim community to grow, and for how we can make an effort and fikr. Every non-Muslim, how they can come into the fold of Islam and be saved from the fire of Jahannam. This is our actual worry and concern as ummatis of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. May Allah give us the tawfiq of understanding and practice, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashraf al-anbiya wal-mursaleen. Nabina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. يا أحد الصمد الذي لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. يا حي يا قيوم برحمتك نستغيث. اصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين. إن تكلنا إلى أنفسنا تكلنا إلى ضعف وعورة وذنب وخطيئة. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى. اللهم اهد الناس واجعلنا جميعا. اللهم اجعلنا دعاة إليك وإلى رسولك. اللهم اجعلنا من الذين يجاهدون في سبيلك. اللهم أيدنا بتأييدك. اللهم أعطنا أفضل ما تعطي عبادك الصالحين. اللهم أحيي دينه كله في العالم كله إلى يوم الدين وجعلنا سببا لذلك. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا يا مولانا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله. Brothers are requested, inshallah, they can maybe perform the sunnah and witr salah, and then food is prepared, inshallah. Everyone is requested to partake of the meals, inshallah.